everyone, my name is Johnny5 and welcome to this week's patch note breakdown for May 3rd. This is for Global Labs, just for so we're aware. I am using Black Desert Foundry to have a translated version of it to be a little bit more accurate than just the Google translated version. I will always have it down in the description. With that, let's dive right in. First, we have an accuracy, evasion, and DR rework. So currently how evasion works is that you have an accuracy percentage to hit someone. If you miss, you deal zero damage for that hit, and if you hit, you deal the full damage. Instead, what it sounds like is that they are changing evasion to be very similar to DR, but instead of scaling per AP, it scales to accuracy. So if you have a 75% hit, let's say right now, and how that'll translate is that you deal 75% of the damage per hit. That might not be exactly the case, but that's basically what it sounds like. So for my guesstimations, this is going to make going pure evasion a lot less worthwhile. And if you want to be tanky, you're going to want to stack a combination of evasion and DR. Because what you'll want to see is first the game will say, okay, what is the AP to DR ratio? This is how much damage reduction we have. Remove that damage. All right, how much evasion is there? Okay, you only hit 70% of the time. So of that already mitigated damage amount, mitigate that down another 70%, or to 70% of that damage, rather. Scrolling down, Dehkia rings are being added to the game with the new Ethereal's limbo location, or rework, additive, expansion, whatever you want to call it. They're pretty juiced. We already know the numbers, though, from previously. At Pen, they're 24 AP and 12 accuracy. At TED, they're 21 AP, so on and so forth. You can pause right here if you would like to read that. The rework for Ethereal's limbo is pretty cool, in my opinion. So the probability of getting a ring is low, getting a token is low, but you are guaranteed to get 2 Dehkia rings. Pretty juiced. And if you're wondering, well, where do I get these tokens? You don't actually have to go anywhere new. You can actually continue to grind a lot of the same spots as before, such as Tungred Ruins, Highlands, Dark Seekers, City of the Dead, Tunkuda, Dehkia, Valen, Olins, Thornwood, Ash, Cyclops, and Quint. And all of those are the Dehkia or Elvia versions. And there's the new Witches token, which looks not very witchy. Continue to scroll down. They've added a few new things to the actual limbo itself. Extreme Cold, Crack, Ancient, Void. I'm not sure how drug damage is a new thing in the game, but it is what it is. They don't really talk much else besides that these blessings exist. We'll have to find out what they are more with live release. Continuing down, the main rewards you can receive from this place is Dehkia rings, Resplendent Lightstones of Fire, which sounds very interesting, and Purified Lightstones and Stars of Oblivion. In addition to the Dehkia ring, if you obtain 100 Stars of Oblivion, you can exchange them for Dehkia rings, so it's a pity. As we continue down the line, monster improvements for Tungred Ruins. They've scaled some of the HP to be a little bit different. Some of the when it's killed modifiers have been changed as well. And same thing for City of the Dead. Basically quality of life improvements for both of these spots, making them a little less cancer to grind and just improving them overall. Crypt of Resting Evasion and Quint Hill have also had slight changes with them. Now, my favorite change of the week is the Siege and Nodewar changes. So this I am super hyped for. These are awesome changes. Essentially what has been changed first is that instead of only the guild leader or alliance leader being able to sign your guild or alliance up for the new Nodewar system, now anyone that is a secretary, staff, advisor, or guild alliance leader is allowed to do so. That is a massive change. The secondary change, which I'm even more hyped for, is they changed the player count. So Balanos and Sorandia will now be 30 mans instead of 35. Diet and Valencia will be 50 instead of 70. And Kama and Calphion will be 75 instead of 100. They've also reduced the amount of mercs to 1, 3, and 5 respectively. Or sorry, 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Thank you everyone who upvoted the post that I created over that change. It's all because of you guys that got changed. So again, really appreciate that. Scrolling down a bit more, a couple of quality of life and UI cleanups for that. They've also changed the taxes a little bit. So before, taxes are accumulated daily according to a set ratio for each node and territory. Acquire accumulated taxes when winning a node war / siege. So if a node was neutral at the end of one war, the next war has double the rewards. After the change, a set amount of tax is assigned to each node and territory every day. Obtain the set tax when winning a siege war. So that is no longer a thing. There is no more accumulation if something stays neutral from one day to the next. But instead, they have increased the amount of tax you receive. So here's a little bit of a screenshot if you would like to pause the video and get the actual numbers themselves, but they seem pretty juiced, going up a good bit, which means that your payouts from your guild will be a bit higher, but you can also afford the new FTs and Hawachas, which were confirmed to be costing 500 mil per. It is not a typo. Continuing to scroll down, some quest and knowledge changes. These are very minor, just quality of life stuff. Some more bug fixes, small item changes, UI changes, and more bug fixes. You could probably have a whole Global Labs of just bug fixes at this point, but at least they're getting some out. And that's about it for the Global Labs this week. Thank you for watching the video. If you have not yet, please subscribe. It's free. It really helps me and I appreciate it. Like the video if you'd like to, but I'm not expecting that. Otherwise, you can catch me on twitch.tv/JONNEYFIVE every Friday at 10:15 CST and randomly throughout the week for other PvP content. Other than that, thank you for joining in for this week's patch note breakdown. I'll see all of you guys later.